It's your host with the most from coast to coast, giving you coolness, hotness, and everything you wantedness. And if that ain't enough, boys and girls, to flip your shiz, here's something more. I got the pink slip daddy. Hey, it's been a long time since I've been on air. Before I go into what I wanted to talk about, I want to give an update on my health conditions. It's been a really rough 3 months. It's still rough. Most of it has been spent either bedridden or in the hospital. I've had my gallbladder out. I've had kidney stones. I have detoxed from alcohol, methamphetamine, painkillers, you name it. I've detoxed from it, and I'm still in the process of detoxing from it. I'm not able to, I haven't till just the last day even paid attention to any politics. I'm not really up for any conversation or visitors. It kind of stresses me out right now. I'm having a lot of anxiety dealing with all this shit, but day by day, and hopefully one of these days, I'll be back feeling the groove again. I'd like to send out a shout out to Kenny Jackson of Opinion But Facts. Much love, man. Miss D, Oak. I'd like to send a shout out to the Bottom Line, Santy Walden, of the LDBC politics. I just wanted to give my quick thoughts. Last night, I know that CNN received their second bomb threat, of course. And they had a quick evacuation and all that. And, I wonder when CNN's going to ever learn to quit having these, they say they're balanced and everything. Why? At this point, why are they trying to do that? Why do they pay an onslaught of these fucking Trump worshipers to come on there and just, verbally lick his ass clean? That's basically what they do, and they're paid for doing this, and they never have anything original. It's just, anything Trump says or does is great. He's a wonderful guy. He's a wonderful guy. And why are they paying these fools? I have yet to see one on there that probably has an IQ out of the single digits, okay? CNN needs to grow a pair of balls, and basically grow up a little bit, It's beyond fucking ridiculous, okay? The time is gone, come and gone. There's no logical point of view from that side, okay? So it's just ridiculous. And of course, you don't see Fox News getting these kind of threats because, well, frankly, if they did, I'd be pretty skeptical of it. I might go conspiracy theory and think they are the ones that planted the story. So, it's these crazy fucking right-wing nut, Trump supporters, basically, and it's funny. Someone asked the other night on a show if the host thought Trump could be reelected. Well, you know what? Yeah, and I agree with those. Yeah, he definitely could, because we've got a lot of racist people in this country that think that they'd rather sacrifice their own well-being for that bit of good feeling. That, oh yeah, we got our man in, and they're more caught up in being racist and keeping that agenda perpetuating than helping themselves and helping the people around them. And that's quite obvious. It's really sickening to see. You got a great percentage of white people out there, lice infested, living in trailers, but they want some hardcore guy who's an asshole to worship, that's a prick, and that, pushes a racist agenda. But, truth be told, he wouldn't give two shits about, their ignorant, pathetic lives. I mean, he don't give a shit about fucking Earl and Edith in, Busted Tooth, Alabama, or, Green Gum, Georgia, sitting in their burkas or parkas, sitting there watching Fox News all goddamn day long, hearing shit perpetuated to them. It just, it's ridiculous. So, of course, because the thing about people like that, though, is they vote in numbers. and they vote and they stick together. You know, people get this attitude that, you know, are people that are semi-conscious or kind of know what the fuck's up. Some people feel like, well, my vote don't count. I'm not gonna vote. I didn't like either candidate. What a stupid ass. Do you realize how fucking dumb you sound? Oh, I didn't like either candidate. Okay, well, what didn't you like about either candidate? Surely one candidate had an agenda that was different than the other one. And, you know, you've got to vote anyway. Don't throw away your vote on a fucking third party. You know, goddamn good and well, that that's not going to happen, that they're not going to win. You know, take the time to fucking vote. Okay. Awareness and consciousness are power. Take the time to vote. Okay. I mean, we can't keep this cycle up. You know, they say, oh, the Democrats are just like the Republicans. No, no, they're not. There's only been 2 years in modern history that you had a complete, you know, Democrat liberal control of the political scene in this fucking country. And it was Obama's first 2 years as president. And he was inexperienced, a lot of shit going on there. We're just getting out of Bush's nightmare. Other than that, we've never had it. And I don't understand that concept because generally speaking, this country is a progressive thinking country, that people that aren't fucking racist and living in a fucking, you know, lice infested trailer park in the South or, you know, wherever it may be. And I'm just telling you like it fucking is with it. You know, it's ridiculous. So cut this shit out with my vote don't count and I didn't like either candidate. Give me a fucking break. Get over yourself. You know, get the fuck over yourself. Okay, we're going to have to, we can't keep doing this as a society and you know, not voting, being lazy. It takes a second to vote. And so, or even if you live in an area where you got to wait in fucking line all day, okay, it's one day a goddamn year that you have to do that, right? So get out there and vote and be committed. Awareness is power, okay? They say knowledge is power, but so is awareness and consciousness is power. All right, be aware of shit, okay? You know, don't stay home because it's Hillary Clinton, or, I mean, you know, she would have made a goddamn hell of a lot better president than fucking Donald Trump, so she's a little bit of a bitch. Hey, it would have been, you know, of course, the Republican House and Senate would have been up her ass like there was no tomorrow, but let's move forward. Let's talk about this election coming up in 2020 a little bit. Here's my thing is, right? My thing is I'm going to support whoever wins the Democratic nomination, right? Once it's all said and done in about a year and a half. I'm going to support that person. There's a lot of people in the candidate pool, and whoever makes it through to the end, you know, will deserve my vote, I feel. Okay. So, you know, it's not when you ask people, you know, Democrats, which, you know, who they like in the primaries, a lot of people are hung up more like people get hung up on Trump. People are hung up on a particular person because they like the bravado. They like that, you know, they like whatever they like about that candidate. Okay. They have they're not thinking about what's best for the country and who would do the better job and who would be more easily electable against Trump. They're not thinking that way, and it's ridiculous. See, this is where I'm coming from, okay? It's not about who my favorite is out of all these people, whether it's Bernie, whether it's Biden, whether it's fucking Booker, whether it's Beto O'Rourke, whether it's Gillibrand, whether it's Klobuchar. It's not about that. To me, I'm looking at who would be our best bet to beat him. Okay, Bernie, you know, you get these Bernie bros, Bernie or bust. What an ignorant, fucking stupid mentality to have. Bernie is the last person that would want you to feel that way. In fact, it was one of his biggest, you know, gripes against people that support him. It's like, hello, you voted for me, but you're not going to vote for Hillary. We're on the same fucking side. I mean, come on. You know, so anyway, I got to let my cat out here for a second. Everything's a distraction, but, you know, I had to get this shit off my chest. And personally, if people have half a brain and they're thinking about this 2020 election, you got Beto O'Rourke, who I knew he wasn't going to beat Ted Cruz. Texas is still too red, but came a lot closer than I thought he would. The Democrats have not won Texas since 1960 when John F. Kennedy did. And the only reason John F. Kennedy did is because his running mate, was from Texas, Lyndon Johnson, okay? If it wasn't for that, if it wasn't for a vice from Texas and somebody popular like Lyndon Johnson at the time down there, Nixon would have fucking cleaned his clock in Texas, like every Democrat has had done to them since, you know? Whether it was fucking Carter or Clinton and on and on and on, Obama, you know, Hillary, and several more I'm sure I'm not thinking of in the meantime. But, you know, a Beta Rourke would be a great pick as advice, okay? Because Texas has the third most electoral votes in the country. Okay, they've got 35, I believe, and New York's got 38. California's got like 53. But Texas is would be definitely, that would be fucking getting the pink slip daddy to totally you know, take Texas away, because this is the way you got to look at it. Okay, and then if you ran like say Joe Biden, let's say Joe Biden for a minute. We'll get into a couple of the others. Joe Biden is gonna fucking, unless something is even more peculiar than the debacle that stole those 3 states from Hillary, Wisconsin, Michigan, and Pennsylvania. Joe Biden will clean Trump's clock in those 3 Midwest states, plus Iowa that Hillary lost by a point. Joe Biden will win those states. Joe Biden is a fucking legend in the Midwest. Okay, the upper North Midwest, not down into enemy territory like Missouri stan and Indiana stan and those fucking red Confederate kind of states. That's just the reality of it. Biden's a legend through there. Joe Biden is kind of the last in that field of the old school Democrats, but he's different. He's the man, when you hear him talk, he's no bullshitter, and you feel there's a lot of heart from him. He's one hell of a speech giver, and it's very, very, it's hard not to get emotional when he starts talking about his, you know, his kids and his sons and growing up, and, you know, he lays it on the line, you know, and he bowed out last election to, you know, kind of not muddy the waters, you know, but he would have won the Democratic nomination over Bernie or Hillary. Joe Biden and Beta Rourke would be a great choice. You know, Cory Booker, I really want to like, and I would support the hell out of Cory Booker, of course, like anybody else that happens to get the Democratic nomination. But Cory Booker just, maybe he'll grow on me more, but there's something missing from him. He just doesn't quite have that swag, and people may go, well, yeah, it isn't about that. You know, you shouldn't just look at that to become president. I'm not fuckface, but here's the deal. Every little fucking nuance is going to count right now, okay? And I just don't see the charisma there with him yet, okay? He's uptight. I don't know what it is about him, but like I said, he'll get my full support if he wins the nomination. Our best bet would be whoever gets it, whether it is Cory Booker, or whether it is Bernie or Biden or whoever the fuck. If it's not Beta Rourke, any of those people would be foolish not to take Beta Rourke from Texas as their vice president, because that would fucking almost give about a 75% chance that the Dems could take Texas for the first time since 1960. Okay, and that was even a fluke that they won then. You know, like, because the reason I mentioned earlier, but you know, that would just about assure the election. And like I said, even anyway, Biden's going to win those states and Bernie would too. Bernie would win a lot of those states too, those upper Midwest kind of states that Democrats typically pick that Hillary should have won, but for a million reasons, mainly I think in those 3 states, lack of, you know, machine hacking by the Russians. But, you know, we may never know that. I don't know if Mueller shit's going to report that or not. Kirsten Gillibrand is another person running. I don't see her. I just don't see it. I can't see her beating Trump. This nicey nice approach is not going to work. Let's love thy neighbor, kumbaya. We got to fucking fight, like Michael Avenatti had said. We got to fight down in the mud with these people, okay? And we got to stay united because they're united like a bunch of fucking lice-infested rats, okay? And they, you know, they go right along with it, you know? I see Trump had another tweet storm this morning. What else is new about Mueller and yada, 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 and all this bullshit, and mentioning Roger Stone and Jerome Corsi, two Alex Jones type conspiracy fucking theory guys. You know, fucking Mr. Super whatever those pills, you know, they're part of all that shit too, part of that empire. You know, those are the kind of people Trump aligns himself with because he doesn't have the couth or the integrity to align himself with, or the intelligence with mainstream political people. It's not that he's a rebel or an outsider. The guy's a fucking dipshit and feels inadequate around this kind of people. You know, that's just it. And, you know, it was obvious again at H.W. Bush's funeral. You know, he looked like a fucking sourpuss. He hated being there. He really hated to have to shake Obama's hand, I'm sure, after all the shit he's talked about each one of those presidents. You know, maybe old man Carter he's left out, but every single one of those people in that row, whether it was Brock, Michelle, Hillary, Bill, you know what I mean? And so it's ridiculous. But back to 2020, we got to stay zoned in and we got to stay focused, okay? It's important to take care of yourself. Certainly don't let this shit kill you. If you need to take some time away, do. I mean, this is just one break in a day where I'm feeling okay, but I'm not up. I don't have the energy or the anxiety to have an actual conversation with anybody but my fiance and my kids right now, and my parents, of course, on a very limited basis. No, I love them, but they annoy me. But Jill DeBrand ain't going to do it. I can't see Cory Booker having that swag to debate Trump. He'll do okay, but he's very, I don't know. You know, maybe he needed, I don't know what it is about Cory Booker. Maybe he'll win me over one day. But Bernie, my only concern with Bernie, of course, is his age. I mean, he's going to be 79 come the next election. Yeah, Biden will be 77, you know, Trump 75. But, you know, when you're that old, a couple years matters, okay? We've never had a president leave office older than 78, okay? And Bernie would be fucking 79 starting the first term. So, you know, and I just don't know. You know, I just don't know. I like Joe Biden. I like Bernie. I'll support whoever gets in there. But if they want to win, they've got to pick Beto O'Rourke from Texas to run as their vice. Otherwise, it'd be fucking stupid. Like if Biden got it or Bernie got it or whatever, and they pick fucking Cory Booker to run with them or Jill DeBrand or, and, you know, any of these other mealy mouths, God bless them. But I really honestly think it's going to come down to Biden and Bernie. And I think Bernie is a team player and Bernie understands. Bernie might be best served from the Senate. Okay, if he could talk Biden into taking on his healthcare for all philosophy, which Uncle Joe would, I think it'd be great. You know, Uncle Joe moving kind of slow at the junction, only it'd be at the White House. You know, him and Beto O'Rourke. Beto O'Rourke's a progressive. Beto O'Rourke is a true progressive. Okay, and Bernie and Beto would be great together. But I think that's the smart way to go, is some combination like that. Now, people can sit there. Anybody that has opinion different than me on this, I'm going to tell you right now, I have to question, is it that you're in love with that certain candidate? I mean, are you thinking about like the big picture? It doesn't really matter what any of these motherfuckers are going to do while they're in the White House, okay, at this point. The thing that matters is who out of these people, right, who out of these people are going to beat Donald Trump, have the best chance of fucking showing out with him in a debate, campaigning hard everywhere. Is Bernie still have the energy to do that? Because this campaign is going to be twice as hard and seem twice as long, and he's going to have to get fucking he's going to have to wear himself out. And he's got to be up for that. You know, Biden would have to be too. Cory Booker, all of them would be. But, you know, you get up to a certain age, that shit, fuck, I couldn't. In my healthiest prime, I don't think I could handle that. That's fucking brutal rock star type touring. It's fucking crazy, okay? I mean, it takes its toll on any human being, you know, unless you're cranked out like Donald Trump was during his. I mean, you know, it's just, it's crazy. But the smart way to go would be Biden or O'Rourke, okay? And it'd be a great combination. Bernie would be a great committee leader in the Senate. You know, and people can go, oh, Biden's tired. What, dude, we're talking fucking one presidency, okay? And it's a whole hell of a lot better than Trump, all right? And Biden can get a lot of swing voters, okay? And he's going to clean house. He'd clean house in the Rust Belt working northern part of the Midwest. You know, if Beto O'Rourke shit, you know, they could take Texas. They wouldn't even really need Texas. You know, if Biden campaigned hard and stayed on code and stayed focused, it would be all good. You know, so people need to really think about that and get out and, you know, vote. I mean, ask yourself, which one of these two people's policies is going to best affect not just me, because you got to think beyond yourself. Okay, you got to think beyond your little bubble, your little fucking world. You got to think about your neighbors, your kids, your family, your loved ones, people that are, and people you don't even know that are working for a living. Okay, you got to think about which one of the candidates is going to best help them. And if you think it's ever a Republican, I really like some of what you're sniffing. You know, might even have a relapse for it, because that's pretty good stuff. Or you're in denial and a closet racist and a fucking religious ideologue. You know, it kind of goes with the territory. Okay, it's like, you know, you can't be in the Ku Klux Klan and not be a racist. You know, guilt by association. I mean, you know, it's crazy. So I think that's the best combination to beat Donald Trump, because he could very easily win, because those people are all going to vote. You can fucking guarantee it. Okay, it isn't like, you know, us lazy liberals sometimes go, oh, fuck it, don't, or some of these people that don't matter, you know, all that bullshit. They hope so they're going to protest their vote, stay home, not vote, and hope. What, hope for a better tomorrow, when in reality they're contributing to nothing changing or moving forward. Okay, hope. You know, hope is a really great little illusion dangled in front of us. Hope. I hope for this. I hope this will happen. Boy, I have hope for tomorrow. Okay, but what are you also doing along with that hope? Are you just hoping? Because if you're hoping on a fucking brick wall or talking to the moon. You know, it just doesn't work that way. I mean, it isn't going to magically fucking change. I don't know what these people expect, or, you know, politics is very stressful. It's hard for me to deal with right now. Okay. You know, I mean, I've been in it my whole life. Since I was 5, I started helping campaigns at 17. I'm 43 now. I got out of it after 2012, after Obama won again. I needed a break. I kind of got into more enlightening and meditating and forgetting about politics. And I said, hey, I'm done. I did my role. Fuck all this shit. I'm done. But then came Donald Trump, and I had to get back into it, you know, and concentrate on that instead of continuing on the path I was and raising my vibration and really being healthy and not thinking about this shit. But it's in my blood. I can't help it. But at the same time, it, you know, just about killed me. And I look at it this way. 2020, the Dems will maintain control of the House. They'll probably pick up a few seats. The Senate nap is almost, unless it's rigged, is almost a reassured that the Dems will take back the Senate with a few votes. But that's in 2020. So that I'm pretty confident of. But the thing about it is, if Trump's reelected, even though the House and the Senate would be democratically controlled, they're not, unless the investigation of some way is still in progress, they're not going to open another one against him. Because I don't think anyway, because he will have been reelected and the people will have spoken, you know, and let's hope not to get to that point, but he will eat some of these fucking boring people for lunch. It's just a fact. The times we live in now, you know, I think Joe Biden, with Bernie's support, Joe Biden and Beto O'Rourke are a best combination that could give us Texas. That would be the key. Because once we flip Texas, we got the pink slip, guys. Once we fucking flip Texas, all right. If Hillary would have won Texas last time, she would have been 3 electoral votes short of 270. But that's also because she lost those 3 states, lost Iowa. Those are 4 states that are a typical Democratic stronghold. Okay. She lost Florida and North Carolina, which are kind of swing states. Florida is, North Carolina, you know, voter fraud going on down there. But at most, she lost by a point in some of these states by a total of like 1%. A lot of them, it was 0.01%. But, you know, you get what I mean. Even with some voter fraud, Joe Biden and Bernie both would clean house in those states. So, you know, I mean, Trump has a way to rally people that buy into that shit and are racist and like to get ginned up. And You know, I don't know what it is. People like that, it's funny, people like that worship the craziest fucking people. I mean, they can't even pick somebody cool, you know. I don't believe in worshiping people, but they can't even pick somebody fucking cool, you know, because people that are cool, they don't command that kind of shit, you know, and they don't like it when people look at them like that, you know, like Bernie don't. Bernie don't like the fucking Bernies or you know, the bros and the Bernie or bust. Um, you know, I mean, those people aren't really intelligent anyway. They've never really studied politics. They don't know how this game works, and they don't want to learn how this game works. Unless you know how the game works, you can't fucking begin to give an opinion or try to change it or anything like that. You got to know. Okay. And this shit is a long process. But, you know, here's some solace, though, to take. You got to look how far we come. I remember being 9 years old in 1984, and fucking Ronald Reagan, the economy was fucking wrecked in the U.S. I mean, it was the start of the end. It was wrecked. And here's the reelection. It was Carter's vice, Mondale, running against Reagan. Mondale won one fucking state, his home state of Minnesota. Reagan won 49 motherfucking states. That'll never happen again. We've come a little ways because more people are voting. Okay, more people are not feeling disenfranchised. You know, they're trying to vote, and demographics are changing, attitudes are changing. But you know, we get these little things that stand in our way, and we stand in our own way too by not, you know, by not voting and saying, "Oh, fuck, I didn't like either one." I mean, well, okay, I didn't like either one. That's fine, but you know, you didn't like either one of their policies or see the complete fucking difference in them. I mean, my God. Okay, you know, I mean, it's better to vote for somebody you think's bullshitting you, but has the ideas you like, versus somebody who's a complete fucking fuckwad moron like Donald Trump. I mean, people, please. It's just fucking ridiculous. And if Hillary Clinton decides to run and, oh, God forbid, gets through and gets the nomination again, fuck yeah, we got to back her and support her, okay? She may be a bitch, but she'd be a great fucking smart president. I'm sorry, she would. Better than her husband. You know, probably on a technical basis, a little bit better than Obama even. Now, Obama, you know, and he even admitted it. I thought it the day he admitted it. He said, if, you know, I probably would have been a better president had I came along 8 or 16 years later. Yeah, if he would have, I would have liked to seen him serve out his full term in the Senate and then maybe one more, and it would have had him running in 16 for the first time. I think, one, America, you know, racist ways had been a little bit more ready for it. Two, he'd have been a little bit more prepared to fucking tell it like it is, okay, and not just try to play the nice guy. But that's neither here nor there. That's all speculation, you know, and what might have been, you know. So it just, then again, just like with Obama, Hillary would have had zero cooperation. I mean, now she would have had a Democratic Congress or House coming up, but the House and the Senate would have been on her, investigating her. And I mean, this shit would have already been into hearings. So we just need to really stick together, because this old, outdated mentality is trying to pack the courts and trying to influence the way people have to live in this country for another generation or maybe two. Okay, when people don't even think that way, except for the racist minions that are worried about the country not being fucking pale, pasty, leave it to beaver, white mayonnaise, fucking white, you know, that's it. Well, that's it. I just had to get all this off my chest, and hopefully my health gets a little bit better. But between withdrawals and between all the fucking internal organs that are my health, I just can't. I can't talk, Dan. You know, I apologize. I love you, Miss D. I love you, Kenny. I just can't. I'm not feeling, you know, very good right now, and you know, I'm sorry. That's just how, you know, that's just how it is. It's just that I couldn't. I can't even really talk, man. It hurts to talk. 9 weeks without a beer, 9 weeks without any Medicaid drugs besides painkillers, which I had to be careful. I got hooked back on those again just in a month. And, you know, I had a problem with them years and years ago. I lost a $100,000 a year job when I was younger to them. I had a god-awful problem with them. God-awful with Suboxone, thankfully. And was off them for 4 years. And, you know, I've had them here and there for surgeries, but I got hooked on them, and it's been, about a week now without them, and it's still rough. They're no joke. They're not. It's not hard. It's not easy shit to quit cold turkey. When I'm still trying to recover from quitting all that other shit, plus the surgeries and the kidney stones and the pancreatitis and in and out of the hospital and bedridden and just, and I can't even watch politics. But now I'm starting to again. I'm going to take it slow. I appreciate everybody, each and every one of you that are listening. Thank you. And that's all I've got to say. But think about what I said about, the election in 2020. It'll be here before we know it. Everybody will pretty much, by this next summer, they'll be starting to talk about primary debates and all that shit. And it's going to be a very loaded, talented field. And whoever wins, it's got my full support. I was just throwing my 2 cents in to whoever does do that, how to choose Beto O'Rourke, unless, of course, it's Beto O'Rourke that gets it. You never know. But, he's the best pick for a vice to get Texas. Plus, he's a great guy and fucking he doesn't take money from PACs and all that shit like everybody likes. I don't know if any of them do anymore. Joe Biden may, he's the one exception. Uncle Joe, hey, he's had a long fucking distinguished career. The guy would be a great president. Burning him and Beta would make a great team. Regulating, getting shit done. No, I don't like fucking Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer. Okay, those are really, when I think of corporate Democrats, I really only think of those 2 old fucking fossils. But that they're who we've got right now, and I wouldn't spend a second of time bitching about either one of them. Okay, they'll be gone soon enough. The House flips every 2 years. I mean, people have to run instead of every 6 in the Senate. So her ass will be up for election again in 2 years. And there are people in California more and more hot on her ass to dethrone her in the primaries, young progressives, and that'll happen soon enough. Okay. And then maybe, I'd like to see Adam Schiff be the Speaker of the House, or maybe Cortez one day, but she's young, and, we'll see how it goes. So, that's all I can say is if something were to happen to Pence and Trump both after the first of the year, Nancy Pelosi would become our president. If Trump left office, this is weird. I've said this before. Pence would become president, but Nancy Pelosi is the House Speaker, even though she's not the same party. She would become the vice president. Yeah, it's crazy. I know. See, here's the weird thing. If it happened in the next 3 weeks, Paul Ryan would become in that realm, and instead of retiring, we'd be stuck with him. But that shit isn't going to happen. You know what I mean? It's unless they got impeachment hearings going right now and had the votes, it would take till the end of the next election cycle to get an outcome. It takes about 1.5 years to run these things, let these things run their course once they get into serious talk, because it has to go through the House and the Senate, or vice versa. With Clinton, when the House impeached him, but the Senate didn't. The Senate did not impeach him or convict him to get rid of him out of the office. So he was impeached but not kicked out of office. Nixon would have been, but he resigned. That shit took each like 1.5 years to play out. So even say now, it's going to take into, the summer before the election. So, we'll just see how it goes, because here's the thing. The Senate is not going to act on anything Trump's did unless they really do have him on tape shooting somebody and it's verified. The PP tape, if that exists and shows up, forget it. They'll say he wasn't president yet. They won't invoke any morals clause, nothing. We're stuck, man. We're stuck. We're stuck until the next election, or I don't know what, because it takes 67 votes in the Senate. Even if the Democrats had the Senate, you're not going to get 67 votes. It's just too many. I don't remember a time in my lifetime when one party had more than 59 or 60 seats a time or two. And you sure as fuck ain't going to get any Republicans that are going to fucking, that are going to stand up to Trump or have any integrity, Oh, no. Fuck no. They're getting their agenda passed. They're not going to rile their shit. They have no integrity. So, it's not going to happen. We're going to have to stay steadfast. And, thankfully there is a Democrat House. But, that ain't really going to mean a whole lot. They can do investigations. If Mueller was fired, they could just turn around after the first year and rehire him as an independent prosecutor. But, we'll see how that goes. We'll see. Trump has nominated a new attorney general today, some guy that worked in the H.W. Bush administration. So another Republican chicken hawk, but, maybe he's got some integrity, let Mueller do his job. But let's face it, what is really Mueller going to do? Come up with, yeah, they got Flynn to flip, Cohen to flip. Really, Trump could pardon himself. And if they try to challenge that, it go to the Supreme Court, and it's a majority Republican on the Supreme Court. They're not going to deny him that, and Trump could, then it'd be water under the bridge and, run again and start his bullshit again. Like I said, they're all going to come out and vote in droves, all these white, lice-infested racists that, would rather have a racist guru in office. It's an asshole than have water in their trailer at the trailer park. That's just kind of how it is, the mentality of it. And then the other Trump supporters are just wealthy idiot ideologues that go along with any Republican. And, even though they're religious, they, it's all forgiven. We didn't want a minister. We want a president. Oh, good God. I'm sure they were saying that about Bill Clinton, and all Bill Clinton did was get a blowjob, which, by the way, the only thing I regret about that whole situation is that it wasn't me. Ha, 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 ha. Anyway, so yeah, he's a real immoral guy, not Trump though. Oh, not Trump. Oh, no. All his shit happened before he ran for president. He's a changed man, and it's funny. It's kind of funny the excuses they'll make. I've never heard anything like that in my life. It's just really, fuck, man. It's amazing. But yeah, I just wanted to touch on that and see how people felt about, the candidates. And it's about all those people would be, listen, all those motherfuckers would be 30 times the President Trump is. Okay. That's not even a question. So fuck talking about any of that. But like I said, it's who and what combination is best suited to go in and fucking on a long fucking trip tour and go in and debate him and beat him. Joe Biden and Beto O'Rourke, to me, or replace Biden with Bernie. But that, to me, that's it. Booker, I don't think so. Gillibrand. So basically, a Bernie beta or a Biden beta. That's it. Combination. That's it. And and that's it. And I think Bernie's going to do whatever is the best strategy to get Trump out of there. And if that means being a very strong force in the Senate and helping Uncle Joe and young Jedi Master Beta from Texas change this country, then so be it. But yeah, that's going to be our best chance of beating him as far as shit looks right now. Shit can change in a year. Some of these people could come of age and get a little bit more ballsier and whatnot. Cory Booker could get some swag. It just, I like him. He just doesn't do it for me yet. Okay. And believe me, as a white guy, I'm a minority advocate. I want another black president so bad that's cool. And I would totally go to the mat for Booker if he wins the nomination, but I just don't. I'm more concerned about the country being saved as a whole. And I just think that, our chances would be better with Biden. It would be a little bit more, I'd feel a little bit more comfortable about picking up certain states. Not to say that Booker wouldn't, and Booker and Beta together. But, yeah, I just don't. Now, on the other hand, if Beto O'Rourke got the nomination by some chance, I think his best move would be to pick, maybe Gillibrand, but I think Booker as a vice. And that. So all these things play through my mind, and it's all things you got to consider, not just who you got a hard on for and who's cool and, who's fucking got the hooch baby and the precious and all that good fucking shit, So with that being said, this is, of course, Rocken Larry Locken. I kind of stumbled that opening. Hopefully I'll I'll talk to you again in the later. And this has been my long minute. I'll talk to you. I'll talk to everyone in a minute.